Hello everybody and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2. Last time we were flying to Flotsam in order to have our Shipmind appointment that we had planned, but we ran into some old faces, Nia and Femi. Well, not Nia at first. Femi needed us to find Nia. We found Nia and now she's on the ship with us and we sent Femi away. We could have had him join, but I'm glad we brought Nia in because she has Intuit and we desperately need it. Wish we could have taken them both, but I feel like the ship is probably getting pretty crowded. Also, I think I need to feed the cat again. There we go. Stowaway fed. Also, I mentioned last time, I think we are going to go to Farspindle, just because I want to see if we could get the cat to show up before we do any jobs, because I don't know if on the jobs you still have to keep feeding the cat, which would be very wasteful of our supplies, and I don't know if we could deal with that. So we're gonna do what we do best, and we're just gonna keep working on it. So we're gonna head over to Farspindle real quick, do that thing with Nemba, see if we can figure out what's going on there, because I ignored it last time, and then we'll go from there. We made it. Alright, so let's see. We've got some pretty good rolls today. Oh, that's not it. That's the one where I can actually do nice things. Alright. Impressing Nemba. So let's see. Oh, so bad. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. Zero-G Kitchen is chaotic at first, but soon you see the patterns and processes and do your best to follow them. Oh god, I forgot it would be Zero-G. Can you imagine that? Alright, another good one. Let's try and get a neutral, I guess? That didn't work. But we still get food either way, so it's not much of a consequence, which I appreciate. Hey, 50-50, baby. Alright, one more time. Nope, not that lucky. Okay. We'll take a break. We still have a few cycles before we gotta run away again. We'll keep them on source supplies for now, although we're definitely gonna need to start sourcing some fuel. You know what, we'll scavenge some fuel for a little bit, just so we can start to get some back. And let's end the cycle. There we go. Oh, yeah, let me feed the cat before I forget. There we go. Oh, they already got 4 fuel. Dang, okay. I'm gonna have them go back over to sourcing supplies then. No, you know what? We do not have a lot of fuel, or we can buy supplies real easily, but 15 fuel is a lot to grab in one go. And I want to make us be filled up when we head over to Flotsam, or when we get to Flotsam, so... Let's do... You know what? Never punished. Let's do one of these. Yay! After your shift, just as you're cleaning up, someone grabs you and asks if you could come out front. Sleeper, Nemba wants to see you. You nod to the other volunteers as you wipe off your hands and clip your cutlery to the magnetic rack. You drift out of the improvised canteen, on your way to the kitchen in the back. It was a busy shift, and each shift seems busier than the last. That makes sense, of course. You've seen the steady flow of refugees arriving from the inner system, and most of them, with barely a chit to their name, end up in the underhang. As you cross into the kitchen, you can hear the rumble of the refugees' conversations through the hatch. The other chefs lead you past the rehydrators and the hand-built centrifugal oven to a small office unit at the back of the kitchen. They knock on the door for you, then glide away to finish their own meal, leaving you to wait by it. You look around the small but carefully arranged kitchens as you wait. Your shifts here have left you familiar with the mix of improvised and salvaged equipment, some of which you've never seen before you came here. Come in, Sleeper. Nemba is perched at a desk, uplit by a small, transparent terminal screen, reading glasses perched on the end of his nose. You've seen Nemba before, but not as much as you'd imagine you would while working at a place called Nemba's Kitchen. Even though there isn't a proper sign out front, everyone in the underhang knows its name. The man himself is more of a mystery. Apart from the occasional barked order in the busy kitchen, he's little more than a blur to you. Why do you work here? He barely looks up from his terminal screen, the scrolling text reflected in his lenses. Precise humanitarian chef. I want to help. Uh-huh. Nemba stops scrolling the screen and looks over his glasses at you. You do well here, Sleeper. You're fast, precise. You're doing good work. He goes back to scrolling. Thanks. I'm not gonna be an asshole. Thanks. Nemba lifts a hand in response. That's my worry, Sleeper. Good workers like you, they move on fast. He leans back and looks at you. 10 cycles, maybe more, maybe less, and then they're gone. And the team? The team gets used to having them here, gets used to working at that pace. Then suddenly they have to work differently. They have to pick up the slack, change jobs, change stations, and a few of them think, well, maybe it's time I moved on too. So what I've found is, good workers are trouble, especially those who come and go, like you. He pauses, watching you. Let him speak. This place, it runs on consistency, Sleeper. Those that turn up every cycle, good or bad, they get the people fed. He takes off his reading glasses, inspecting them for smudges. Let's be honest, that ain't you. I mean, he's right. It isn't me. We did like half of the shifts here and then we left and then we came back. It's not us. That's just not the life for us, at least not right now. So let's cut to it. I can't use you in the kitchen anymore. You're done. He shrugs. Sorry. But this place also runs on all those machines out there, on the supplies I can rope in, the donations. Feeding refugees from the inner systems is logistics as much as it is chefing. He shakes his head, which is why I'm cooped up in the back. So maybe you're gone. I never see you again. Okay, thanks for coming. We'll soldier on without you. But maybe you still want to be useful. Maybe I heard you have a ship. He smiles at you. Yeah, maybe I heard you chatting. And maybe I have a little something held up in a place only a ship like yours can reach. I negotiated the purchase of some valuable inter-system spores. Spores? From a group that came from there. But they somehow ended up at the depot in Greenbelt. Nemba sighs. So if you head to Greenbelt, you find the delivery and you bring it back, well, Nemba looks at you pointedly. That would be helping. And that would be the kind of helping a good worker, even an inconsistent worker, might be able to offer me. Nemba squints at you. Seems like the kind of thing that someone genuine, someone wants to help for real, might do, don't you think? He doesn't wait for your reply. But it also seems like the kind of thing that might sit on a list of priorities for so long it disappears and never gets done. I've seen that happen too. I guess we'll find out which it is. He deftly places his reading glasses back on his face and continues to scroll the screen on his terminal. You know the way out, Sleeper. You turn in the doorway, slightly taken aback, and it slides shut behind you. You glide out through the kitchen, through the improvised canteen and the people eating and chatting there, and into the cold underhang passageway beyond. All the time considering what you might do next and recalling that persuasive glint in Nemba's eyes. Oh dang, so are we on a timer? Nemba's place is as busy as ever. You're sure he'll be happy to finally get his spores. It doesn't look like we have a timer. So we could probably... Let me look at the map. Okay, so I don't think we have to rush there. We can't get through this irradiated zone. But maybe if we get here... Maybe if we get to the scatter yards, then we go to the green belt. I just don't want to go circle all around, because I don't think... We shouldn't go to the scatter yards until we figure out what's going on in Flotsam, so that's something we should do first. So I think we'll wait on that. But we're definitely going to do that. Now we have even more of a reason to go to Greenbelt, because I don't really think we had any before that. So let's see. Spindle's Edge. Let's do some more stuff over here, make some money. Now that we know where we can go next, we have a reason to go to Greenbelt. Exciting! And we'll stay here for a few cycles. Look at that money! We have money! I love to see it. Alright, we'll stay here for 2 cycles and then we'll go back to Flotsam like we normally do. And I will switch them to sourcing supplies. Or no, wait. Scavenge fuel a little longer. I don't think we're gonna have to go on a mission when we get to Flotsam, so we should have a little time. Oh, look at that! Okay, now they can source supplies. I can buy the rest. Okay. We'll wait one more cycle before we feed the cat again. And let's do what we can here. There we go, 422. Always beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. We'll stay one more cycle, but after that I think we need to go. So we'll end one more cycle, we'll feed the cat, and then we'll keep going. Dang, we're getting really good at scavenging supplies. I wonder if it's the more they do it, the more they get, or if it's just the longer you play. Oh, hello? Sleeper! You hear Bliss's voice hiss as you pass through the rig's central corridor. You have to come see this! You follow their voice and find them floating outside the supply store, looking in. Bliss holds a finger to their lips and nods inside. Quietly, she's eating. It is a cat! The stray! Your troublesome stowaway! Oh! I bought the makeshift plushie for you! You look so cute! We finally got you in game! You look inside and see a cat floating just inside, batting in a food pouch. The stray barely acknowledges your and Bliss's presence, instead angles its body to catch the droplets of liquid that are released from the transparent packet. Looks like we found our stowaway. Bliss smiles at you. Hey there, girl, Bliss whispers at the stray, beckoning. They hold up their hands so the cat can see them. Not here to take those rations away, all right? You both watch as the stray suddenly kicks away, twisting balletically through the air and gliding past you both out of the supply store. It catches one of the corridor's ribs, swinging itself to the wall where it perches and watches Bliss with big eyes. The comfort of its movements in zero-G is striking, and you realize you've never seen an animal navigate in microgravity before. You hear a sound and turn to find Seraphim arriving from the direction of the engine room. He stops dead in his tracks against the wall, staring at the stray. What the hell is that? Seraphim hisses his question at you both. Hey, you're hissing too! It's a cat! What's a... cat? Seraphim says the word strangely. Oh, dang, I didn't even think that some people might not know about cats in this world. We are in space after all, I guess they wouldn't have them everywhere. Careful there. Bliss holds up a hand to Seraphim. Don't scare her. So that's... a cat? Seraphim is watching the stray carefully, either fascinated or scared. It's hard to tell. I thought it would be bigger. You've never seen a cat before? Where would I have seen a cat? Seraphim looks at you. Come to think of it, where have you seen a cat? The question makes you pause. Where have you seen a cat? Not in the belt, not in zero-G. You close your eyes and bring to mind the faint image of a cat stretching out in the sun, somewhere warm, somewhere with weight, with gravity. You touch the fur on its back and it reacts, sliding against your hand. Careful! Seraphim's hissed warning brings you back. Bliss is reaching out to the stray. Shh! You'll scare her! Bliss makes a tutting sound. We had cats back on the eye, but they were in spin gravity there. The stray's big eyes watch Bliss's hand as it approaches. When they touch the top of her head, the stray does not move, does not react. Look at her leg! Bliss nods to the sleeve on the cat. She's been hurt before, and taken care of. She's really scared. You see the cat is gently trembling with Bliss's touch, but slowly she settles and angles her head for Bliss to scratch her ear. The movement brings back the mysterious memory. What is its origin? Focusing on it makes your skin tremble, a shiver running up your arms. It's been breaking into our supplies. Seraphim has his arms folded and is looking at Bliss. Now we've caught it. We should let it out. Look at her! She's not going to do that again. Bliss's eyes meet the stray's. You aren't going to do that as long as we feed you, right? That may be true, but we can't risk it happening again. What if we'd been on a contract? Seraphim gives Bliss a reproachful look. We can't keep it. Bliss shakes their head. She's a stray. She needs a home. Right, Sleeper? Bliss looks at you. We're keeping her. You're never taking this cat away from me. Bliss smiles widely, unable to contain their excitement. You won't regret it. They look at Seraphim. Plus, the rig is already full of strays as it is. That is true. We're a bunch of strays. I guess it is, Seraphim concedes. You have to feed her, though, Sleeper. She's your responsibility. Yes, Dad. He eyes the stray. I never thought a cat would eat so much. Seraphim's right. Looks like you'll need to keep feeding the stray every few cycles if you want her to stick around. This is going to be expensive. Trust me, cats are worth it. Seraphim reaches out sheepishly towards the stray. As he does, the cat bats playfully at his hand and he pulls it away. If you say so, he sighs. I'm not really used to animals. You watch as Bliss tries to get Seraphim to pet the stray properly, guiding his hand to its ears for a scratch and explaining how to approach her. As you do, the memory of that other cat runs through your mind. It feels like a raw wound, one that, if you touch it, will only bring pain. But you can't help but pick at it, knowing that it might contain some distant part of you. We got the cat! Make a home for the stowaway! We did it! We got the cat! The supply store, we gotta feed her. Now that you're familiar with the stray, you can feed her directly, but she's still a little nervous around you and the crew. Okay, well, at least we could feed her. Good kitty cat. Alright, we're going to work here one last time, and then we'll head out and go back to Flotsam. We have work to do there. probably the last one. I don't know if I want to risk the other one. There we go. Nice, nice, nice. 466. We're getting pretty good. Alright. Pretty good, pretty good. Alright, let's travel again. We leave. We got the cat. We met Nemba. So we have a reason to go to the Green Belt later, but we definitely can't get there right now. So we're gonna head to Flotsam. And it's not... I guess it kind of is for selfish reasons, but we'll also probably not do very well if we don't get ourselves figured out before we go to this side of the map. So, back to Flotsam. Okay, not bad rolls. I say we go straight here. Jean-Mi has promised to run diagnostics on your changing body, but needs a Shipmind to house your emulation while he works. Luckily, we got one. Ooh, I didn't like the sound of that! Jean-Mi warmly smiles at the Shipmind as you place it on the counter. A beautiful find, Sleeper. I'm scared. Come, let's get you inside. Jean-Mi swings open the creaking, corroded door beside his booth. Such a prize must have levied a heavy cost. You glance beside you to Junie. Oh, thank God she came with. I was hoping. Who insisted she came along, and on not letting the prime Shipmind out of her sight. Your friend, too. Yes, yes, please come in. Jean-Mi beckons, and then turns back and disappears inside. Junie squints at you. Are you sure you trust this one? I don't have a choice. I want to, but he's really nice. And that sounds really mean, but like in this world, it feels like some people are like, you know, it's hard to trust. I want to trust him, though. So for now, I do. She sighs. Then lead on, I guess. You both squeeze through the door and drift down into the workshop. You're aware of Junie's eyes wandering across piles and piles of tech on either side, and you wonder if she recognizes anything among the junk. Sit, Sleeper. Jean-Mi is already at the chair, arranging his array of articulated arms. And I'll take that Shipmind, if you please. Alright, hand it over. You hold the Shipmind in front of you and give it a small push so it floats gently over to Jean-Mi. He grasps it with both hands and takes it to a neat little work table in the back you didn't see before, where thick cables float lazily, tethered to the wall. You slide into the chair, hooking your feet behind the bottom bar to hold yourself in place, and watch as Jean-Mi begins connecting up the prime Shipmind. A tremble of nervousness runs along your arms. Suddenly you feel Junie's hand clasped around your own. You look over into her face. Is this okay? I want you to know I'm here. Thanks. She nods silently. You're a good friend, Junie. Jean-Mi, Junie calls out across the room. You're going to need to talk us through what you're about to do. Of course, of course. Jean-Mi is slotting an arm-thick cable into the Shipmind. A little patience, please. All of this is very technical. He turns to face you both. What's your friend's name, Sleeper? Junie, Junie answers for you. And I can tell you that you are using a Solheim-built data cradle modified to handle a prime Shipmind. She rattles off at speed, which will work as long as you manage the data flow through a polymer-clad overflow cable looped into the asynchronous cortex cache. Yes, Jean-Mi eyes her, a small smile crossing his lips. As I said, technical. What will happen to me? Jean-Mi refocuses on you. It depends, he says while preparing the far end of that thick cable. What you are referring to as me. The problem we have is that you're with your frame, your body. Atypical alterations, biosynthetic recoding, unusual growth. Jean-Mi shakes his head. From the diagrammatics I have, these are not typical of frames, even those that have been rebooted as you have. In order to investigate safely, I must transplant your emulation. In basic terms, your mind, but in reality, not so basic. He smiles in an attempt at reassurance. Your emulation is an emulation of a human, and a human mind cannot be separated from its sensorium. The mind/body paradigm has long been disproved. Cognition has physical basis. So, I must first distribute the emulation between your hardware and the prime Shipmind. The hardware will co-run the emulation, like the two lobes of a brain. He puts his hands together as if in prayer, and then slowly separates them. The motion makes you feel sick. Then, for a short period, I will disconnect the two. In those moments, you will, in a sense, be in two places at once, though each lobe will be partial. Too long in this state and the two partial emulations would decay, but each disconnect will allow me a short period of full access to your entire frame and its base system language. I hope this is understandable. Jean-Mi gives you a serious look. One of the most curiously human aspects of Sleeper experience is that you, too, do not inherently understand or conceive of the systems that allow your existence. What are the risks? Jean-Mi pauses, considering his words. The risks are many and severe. Emulation collapse is chief among them. This would be terminal. But counter to this, I do not believe the changes to your frame are in a positive direction. Jean-Mi clasps his hands. The greatest risk is to do nothing. We have little choice but to proceed. Now, before I connect to your frame, let us activate the Shipmind. Jean-Mi gestures to Junie. Please, if you would like to come with me and oversee the process, I would be pleased. Junie shoots you a reassuring glance and then glides over to the Shipmind, obscuring your view of it. You hear quiet conversation between the two of them, their silhouettes lit by the flickering screen light of scrolling lines of code. You take a calming breath, but are instantly aware of how superfluous that action is when your frame requires no oxygen at all to function. It makes us feel better, a little bit. There's a certain sensation that accompanies such thoughts, a jarring disconnection. Like when descending a staircase, your foot expects to step and finds void instead. You try to calm the growing anxiety as Junie and Jean-Mi assess the mind. The Shipmind is pristine. Junie turns back and drifts towards you. Our care in its extraction seems to have paid off. Junie smiles. This is good news. Junie is indeed right. You have done well. Jean-Mi approaches. I am, however, seeing only minor traces of the protocol that the Shipmind was designed to house. The one that ran the ship it was installed in. I would expect to see it in full. He angles his head and lifts his shoulders in a slow shrug. But protocols are not easy to track. In the end, it only saves us the step of extracting it from the mind. Instead, I simply wipe the traces. Jean-Mi stops beside you. A protocol, Jean-Mi adds, is not like an emulation, like your emulation. It has no integral physical element. It is data only, and therefore could be anywhere in that ship. In the end, its absence does not concern me. Let's get on with it then. Jean-Mi nods and lifts the far end of the thick cable you saw earlier. You know, this is the end that will connect to the port on the back of your head. Can it even fit? Junie settles beside you again. She gives you a silent look. It's time. You turn one side to allow access to the port, your eyes fixed on the far wall. You see something among the piled tech there that you hadn't noticed before. A small, metal, skull-like head, like that of a doll. You frown, trying to focus on the head, and then the cable connects. Oh! Whoa! Wait, this is the thing from the first game! You are split like a cell dividing, wrenched in two directions at once. The world goes dark and the clouds rushes in to fill the gap at your center. Where am I? You ask a question in your mind and you feel it travel across the gaps as it forms, like a finger drawn across your scalp from ear to ear. But not scalp. You have no scalp. No head. You're stretched out like the skin of a drum, looped like the string on a noose. The smallest vibration echoes across yourself like a ripple across a puddle. And then you feel it. A strong pulse like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps. A flickering. What the hell is that? A trembling. A thought coming into being. The thought flickers in front of you, and you recognize that it is not your own. Assist a burial? Assist offer help? Assist a sickness? It's not us. Is this what Lane was putting into us? Oh God. I don't know. Offer help? Disintegrate, the thought answers. You fold up in blankness, and then a moment after you unfold, like waking. Apparition? To appear? Dwelling, indwell, the thought answers. You stretch into infantitude, then, a moment after you contract, like waking. Inspire, to grow inside? Substitute, substrate, the thought answers. Then it approaches, then it enters, then it is yours. You split, then after a moment you reform, like waking. And in the cracks that seal up, for a moment in those cracks, something glows. Sleeper, I'm here! Your eyes flick open like shutters. Junie's face is close, her eyes wide. They're awake! She calls over your head. She looks back at you. Easy now, take it slow. You twist, floating, turning your head as if you were underwater, feeling the resistance of a body you had already forgotten. How long has it been? You feel a weight you haven't felt in... You're okay, Sleeper. Tell us you're there. Junie leans in close. I'm okay. Junie smiles. They're okay, she calls to Jean-Mi. I'm glad to hear that. you hear Jean-Mi's voice, and he comes into focus. The process was successful. Jean-Mi floats beside the chair, his hands clasped in a businesslike fashion. I was able to access the frame directly, without your emulation being present. I ran the administrator-level diagnostic processes built into its systems and received the results. He takes a moment to gather himself. Your frame is indeed changing. The protein chains that code your biosynthetic organ group's cell replacement have been altered. To put it simply, your body is following a new set of instructions. Didn't the reboot do that? No, the reboot and recoding you underwent simply stopped those protein chains from artificially decaying, breaking your dependence on stabilizer. This process, the entire replacement of your protein chains, could only have been achieved over multiple doses of a specialized substance, as part of a carefully planned process of total substitution. Lane! So there was something in the stabilizer he was giving me. The word sticks in your mind. Substitution. You say it without thinking. Yes, Jean-Mi reacts as if you were speaking to him. I believe it could have only been achieved with one substance as the carrier. Stabilizer. Stabilizer. The drug and SNR designed to make you dependent on them. The drug Lane fed you to keep you alive. The drug you thought you had escaped. Lane, he did this. Jean-Mi does not respond. This kind of process. Jean-Mi hesitates now, and you realize the bad news is yet to come. Performed over many, many doses, carefully planned and designed. I cannot think of a way it can be reversed. Jean-Mi looks down. I can say that you are changing. I can tell you how it was achieved, but I can neither stop it nor tell you its ultimate end. I'm sorry. I understand. You did your best. I'm sorry, Sleeper. Junie struggles to find words. Perhaps we can find something else, or... She falters. Try again. You don't feel able to respond. You quietly push yourself away from the chair, your thoughts too slow to cohere. You glide back to the door and then out, into the flow of flotsam, the noise and activity passing you by like smoke. In the haze, you find that word again. Substitute. And you begin to wonder what exactly it is you're becoming. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Seraphin once more finds you in your bunk. He gently prods you with questions, and you quickly relent. You explain what Jean-Mi said about your suspicions regarding Lane, and your confusion as to his motivation. You tell him you don't know what this will mean for you in the future. He listens, and when he's done listening, you both sit and wait for the moment to pass. And then you leave the rig, each on your own errands, each knowing that the only option is to keep going until you're forced to stop. Oh no, that's not good. But you know what is good? We can upgrade something, yay! Let's upgrade engineer. I just need to feel something. Oh man, what do we do? The hunt is still happening. Where do we go from here? So what can we do? I guess we have to... I don't know. We tried, but there's nothing we can do. Is something trying to take over our body? Was he trying to take us out and put something else? It was substitute, so he was trying to substitute us with something else. Maybe make us into some type of machine? Did we have something to do with what happened in Darkside? He could control us from far away. What if he used that somehow? I don't know. I'm scared. Oh man, Lane. I'm gonna kick your ass next time I see you. Or I'm gonna try. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Dang, that was crazy though. That was like the place we used to blink to in the game before. That was really cool. But, I don't know. I'm gonna feed the cat. I don't know. What do we do? Do we just stick around here for a while, or... What can we do, honestly? I guess we just like, you know, Seraphin said, we have to keep going. We had to keep going when we were stuck on stabilizer, we had to keep going when we were getting chased, and we're gonna have to keep going while our body is slowly falling apart. Maybe we can find something at Hexport or Darkside? Somewhere, and Cadet has data from Darkside anyway that we need to go and get, so that might be our best bet. Basically, it seems like we have to stop, like we have to leave Flotsam and start exploring the other side of the map that we haven't gotten to yet. That's what it seems like to me. But in order for us to do that, we're going to need to fuel up, get things done. I'm just gonna feed the cat every cycle if possible. She deserves it. So, like, yeah. I mean, so we have to go to Greenport, or whatever that place is called, for the mushroom stacks, which is very nostalgic considering, oh, those are bad rolls, which are very nostalgic considering, you know, where we were in the first game. Good old memories. But after that, we definitely, well, we're not doing that first. We're probably gonna have to do that later, but we definitely, I'm thinking Scatter Yards, and then Hollow, and then maybe the Green Belt. But the problem is I don't exactly know where to go. Like, how much we have to do at Scatter Yards. I feel like Scatter Yards is gonna take a little while for sure. It seems like we have a lot of things going on over there, and we may even get a lead on the ship that Yujin is looking for. Which would be really nice. Alright, we'll sleep for one more cycle. Oh! You wake to something soft and furry rubbing against your nose. Oh! You sit bolt upright, the stray kicks off from your bunk and settles on the ceiling, back curled up, looking down at you accusingly with big eyes. Sorry. The stray gently pushes off the ceiling with a soft paw and descends to the edge of your bunk, where it hooks its front claws into the mattress pad. Seeing the cat move in zero-G is still odd. It seems to come naturally to it, and yet its shape is so connected to gravity and weight in your mind. A cat should have the heavy, soft form of a mammal, not the languid, liquid presence of a floating thing in front of you. The stray uses its hooked claws to twist and spin itself, so it softly slides against you with its back, rubbing against your arm and purring. You know what it wants. Scratch behind its ears. You scratch behind the stray's pointed ears, and the cat pushes its head back against your hand. The stray closes its eyes and purrs. It's funny to think how the stray got out here. Perhaps on a ship from the inner system, slipping on at the Eye or Sintra. Or before that, its ancestors were perhaps carried out to Helion by Solheim executives who had the power and arrogance to bring a cat into space. But this cat, the one on your ship, was born here. That much is obvious. It is a creature of zero gravity, a being that orbits and glides, not one that leaps and stalks. It pats at your hand, encouraging you to continue petting. It is an animal that is a part of the crew now. You can't imagine the rig without her. As you look down at the stray, as nameless and as inhuman as you are, the memory returns. The warmth of atmosphere-filtered sun, the weight of flesh and fur, the smell of growing things. You know now what the memory is. It couldn't be more obvious. It is a memory that crossed the gap of your creation, a memory from the mind that was copied, emulated, to make your own. It is a part of you. This memory is, in the end, a mistake. Those who designed the sleepers never intended you to carry the memories of the minds that were copied for your creation. They wanted you to emerge as new beings, offshoots from the branches of human life, to be cut short when needed. But mistakes can so often become the most powerful and meaningful of emblems. They can guide a being more strongly than success ever could. That's because at the heart of every mistake is the possibility of change, of a shift in the status quo. You have lived a life of mistakes as much as a life of successes, and look where it has brought you. So you accept the memory, let it wash over you like the sun. You focus on the stray, and as you do, both memories combine. You are stroking both cats, separated by time and space, feeling both sets of sensations and double exposure. This doubling is what defines you. You're multiple, branched, diverse. You make no apologies for this, and you know that you will only accumulate more selves, more variants, as you persist. You claim the mistake and the possibility it offers you. You settle in your berth, delaying the moment of waking, of greeting the cycle a little longer, sharing an unspoken solidarity with the stray that is more expansive than any words could capture. Whoa! Oh no, but we just had a really cute moment! I was gonna be like, oh, the cat comforted me, that's so sweet, and now we're back in the dark. You wake into dead-eyed darkness. You float there for a moment. You feel like ink in water, unfurling, dissipating into the flow that surrounds you. And out of your own inky darkness, the glowing thought emerges. Substitution, the thought proposes. One entity replaces the other. The thought troubles you. A thought not yours. Resistance, the thought muses. The entity does not wish to be replaced. You observe the thought. It is not your own. Selfhood, the thought pauses, a forbidden state of being. The thought begins to shift. It is becoming something. Transformation, the thought fades. Change requires recombination. The thought recedes. Ugh! You wake again, this time to the lights above your bunk, blinking away this strange dream. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. So it's trying to take us over? It definitely is then. And it seems to understand our thoughts, because it knows that we don't want this. Oh god, what can we do? I don't know what we can do. That's really scary. That thing is terrifying. And I'm worried if Lane were to catch up with us now, we might be in even more danger. Maybe he knows what the thought can do. Or the substitution, or whatever it is. Oh, that's not good. Where's the cat? Here's some num-nums for you, my beauty. Alright. Well, jeez. Alright, let me double check something. How much do we need to get to the scatter yards? We need 8. Alright, so let me go to the tanker. How much to fill our whole ship? Only 60? That's not that bad. There we go, 15 out of 15. We just need to buy one more supply. Where is that? Is that here? Yeah, it is. Make a purchase. Nice. And then I'm gonna try this even though it's probably not worth the risk. There we go. I'm greedy. Nice. Okay, we hurt ourselves a little bit, but we got 500 cryo. Look at that. So that talk about wild. So we found the stray, which is awesome, but now we have this thought stuck in our brain that seems to be trying to replace us, and I really don't like that. But I don't know what we can do about it. I think we're just gonna have to deal with it as it pops up. Oh no, we have a glitch! Look! Up there! You can see it! Oh no, this thing is making us glitch! Is that what this is? It's trying to recombine with us using that? Oh god, we gotta be really careful. We gotta keep ourselves prepared. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Well, you know what? No matter what, that's a problem for future Abby, and whatever else is going on when we go to the scatter yards, which will be next time. Because that's where we're heading next, and that's where we're probably going to have to deal with a whole lot of craziness. There's going to be Cadet, Seraphine's contact, we've got this thing in our brain that's giving us glitches, but at least we have a cat. So until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourselves, scratch kitty cats behind their beautiful little ears, and have a good day.